It was a kind of, I would say that administrative role, and a lot of, I would say that major hiccups were there while I was working as a line HR guy. I managed all functions of HR during my tenure only as a HR professional without technology. I just wanted to highlight few aspects. I know that I need to talk about technology along with HR, but I want to highlight earlier there was no HR. Sure. It was only timekeeping people like one of us used to sit at one place just to see if somebody is coming on time and doing all these activities, like people are, if somebody is on leave, etc., then just cut their salary and then go ahead with some kind of payroll deduction and so on. So many more things were there, but it was only specific to timekeeping activity. Then what realized, if you look at this graph, complexity of processes versus awareness of workers. So you know that with every passing day, the worker gets matured. When they start working, they realize that they could do something different. Organization is maybe mistreating them, maybe doing something different which they may not like. And all this awareness, when it gets added in the employee, then it's tough for organization to manage those people. So then the function came by the name of industrial relation, which is labor relation. So labor officer, who used to manage all the labors, who used to take care of all industrial relation activities, and many more things. So then this was the first evolvement within HR. And the third one was personal administration. So as I mentioned that HR was not there, it was only a person who was managing administrative activities, so he was treated as a personal administrator. Then he became personal manager, and then he became human resource guy, and at last he became human capital. Any one of you can you tell me that why we are now calling human resources human capital? Any idea?
Because it is an asset of the company.
Great job. So why was it called only as a human resource earlier?
Because we used to treat long back human resource as a cost to the company.
Perfect answer. So we were treating all workers as a resource. And because we were treating them as a resource, we were not giving them weightage. We were not treating them as a capital. We were not nurturing their skill. We were not understanding the importance of that person, importance of the skill which he was holding at that time. So then they started realizing that human is a capital, because if somebody leaves now, then they need to invest a lot of time and money just to hire the similar kind of caliber guy in the organization that would same cost or for some other reason. So I would say that human is actually a capital. No company can run without employee, without human being. So employeeship is actually a term which has come because we've started giving importance to employee. There was a book written by Neeraj Narang, HCL CEO earlier. So he mentioned that employee first, customer second. That actually changed the concept that time. And the concept was we were treating employee as a resource. He was going out, thank you, we will hire somebody else. But later we realized that we needed good skill set guy, good guy who could run our business perfectly for us and earn us revenue. So that is the history about this. And if we talk about other aspects. So this was when I joined. At that time, it was HR. As a line HR guy when I joined. So we were doing more of administrative activity, then little less as delivery. Some task was given to us and then we have to deliver. And decision making, we were negligible. And nobody came to us for any kind of advice or any kind of stuff. They used to come to us saying that, boss, do this work. This is what I need. That's it. And we were even not bothering about understanding or finding out why do you need that. And we were not asking questions because we knew that we are the guys who would only invest money, but we would not earn money for our organization. But then now if you look at this side now, the time is changing. And the time is changing because of technology. And that time is changing because now whatever administrative activities are, like even running payroll is one of the payroll activity, which is administrative task. I don't treat that as a strategic task. And similarly, taking care of attendance, absence, and many more things, these are all timekeeping activities, are all administrative activities. And now what organizations have started doing is, they have outsourced or started using applications to manage this kind of administrative activities so that we can bring people or HR people out of those administrative activity and start using their mind for better growth of organization. I remember I am not a passed out from IIM, etc., but I know the guy who was passed out from IIM was sitting with me doing the same work what I was doing from the normal college. So what was the value he was adding? He had very good caliber, he learned a lot of good things, case studies and so on, but what value he was adding was similar what I was doing. So that means we were not using that value. Now we have started doing that. So now at this point of time, we are more strategic in nature. And the guys who would go into HR, actually you would feel value. You can take your own decision. And then you can also force the organization to think as what you want. So that the organization can understand the value of your advice. The next thing is, so we have moved away from tactical to strategic. So time to hire, I remember I used to hire people, then on paper, writing with my pen, managing paperwork and so on. And I was biased. My friends called me, Neeraj, please hire this guy. Who this guy is, I don't know. Please hire. So that kind of biasness was there. So now similarly, pay for tenure is now changing to pay for performance. If you perform well, you get proper treatment. But if you look at government organization, they are still paying by tenure. If you are senior, then you get better package. If you are junior, then you don't get promotion and so on. So these are the gaps. These are the gaps earlier. But now the time is changing because of technology, reactive training to proactive. We are reactive in nature. If somebody is not doing good job, then we identify, okay, you are not doing good job in this. Do this, then you will get better. But now the time has come. If somebody is not doing good or doing good, but still we find that the person has a potential to grow further. So he should be trained on that aspect, keeping future in mind. That is the proactive training, certification and reactive promotions to succession planning. So these are some of the, I would say, changes what we found from the evolvement of technology in HR. And although this was the involvement within HR department, but at the same time technology also got upgraded. Technology means HR technology. So earlier whosoever, even Oracle came up with one system called personal administration system. So that means what is happening? We are taking care of admin work like leave management. We are not asking employee to file leave application, but we were, as a HR guy, we were taking those applications and entering from our own hand, because so that we can capture this information in our system and maintain the record. Similarly, then we found that no, administrative task is okay, but we need to hire good people. We need to maintain their record also. We added recruitment in the solution. Then we realized that is not enough, because now people like our employees are our talent. Earlier they were resources, now they are our talent. We need to nurture them. We need to find out what they want now. We need to find out what skill set they are holding. We need to find out what skill set we are expecting versus what skill set they are holding and where the gaps is. So that way we just added this integrated talent management. Why it is integrated? Because it should talk to this earlier information of HR, skill set which is also captured here, and third, we should also know that what area he's working on, what he could, what value he could add, what additional skill set he's holding, so that it could be of good value for us and so on. So we evolved our technology accordingly, and then now we are just going beyond that. Going beyond in a sense is we are adding value by adding further stuff. Means we as a HR, we should do work of employee which they could do better. I don't want to take your contact detail and update on your behalf. Why? Why would I do that? If you are giving me some information, if I type something wrong, I am liable to just this kind of penalty saying, or any kind of issue that I entered that information wrong, or somebody has given wrong information, I made that mistake. And these are wastage of our time. As a resource or the capital, we are not using our brain. We are just using or just doing what is told to us. So that thing is now going out with technology. So technology is playing a major role. How many of you use WhatsApp? Almost all of us. Facebook. And how many of you got trained on Facebook? Trained in terms of you just installed, you didn't know that how to use that, and you just started asking somebody, oh, please tell me, and so on. Anybody? No, no one. And that is employeeship. That is person-centric activity. That is called making people responsible for their own act, spending less on training people on activity. And that is what is the change in HR now. And that change has come because the technology which was built earlier, it was very complex in nature and nobody was liking it at all. And they were forced to use that system so that they can generate reports. But now, if you look at this ladder, so this high impact on HR means we made our system, made a technology so user-friendly that now anybody could go and then make changes. They can use this application as a Facebook or WhatsApp or whatever. That is the impact. That is the impact on employee, that is the impact on organization. I just want to show you one video wherein like how HR started using technology and what is the role of HR in a modern day. So, how many of you have attended any internship in HR? Quite a few, very good. And how many of you actually learned in terms of some strategic activity rather than just supporting an admin activity? Admin in terms of, if you are sitting there in the internship, what generally organization does, okay, these are the work which is actually done by different people, just give this work to them. And if there are some quality work like training, assuming that talent management, we are re-engineering our process. And we wanted to re-engineer our process because you are the fresh blood in our organization as an intern. I want to use your skill, use your mind, just to revive my process. Anybody who got in that kind of activity? That is missing. So that is where we need to add value. And I just show you, before I just move on to that video, I just want to show you that what is the life cycle of employee as well as how HR works in organization. All of you are aware of this cycle? So what does it say? It says that organization, what they look for? They look for very good talent so that they can grow fast. That is possible if you are very good in your skill set. And if you are good in skill set, or if you may not be 100% good in that skill set, but you should have a potential to grow. You should have a potential to learn things and then even unlearn things, because we are evolving. At the time of evolution, sometimes we start something which may not work. You will have to forget those things and then you will have to relearn new things and then start working on that area. Oracle believes in one activity, not even Oracle, I would say now almost all big organizations are feeling working on one activity, or always give more importance to one activity, is that fail fast. Come up with a new idea and get failed. There are big organizations which says, I need people. If I get CV of 4 people, 3 who are very good at executing it and they have always been successful, whatever idea they gave, and 1 has potential but he got failed twice. I would prefer failed guy first than the successful guy. Depending upon the requirement, I would prefer that, because you know why? Any reason? Any reason? Any reason? Nobody's raising hand. If guy is failed, why should he be given first importance?
Sir, though he has failed, but he has tried various things to accomplish his goal.
That is what is needed. If you don't come out of your comfort, if you are a successful guy, you get into your comfort zone. And if you are in comfort zone, you would not think beyond that. You would remain in your territory and then start working in those areas which actually gave you good output. But that output or that thing may not work in the future evaluation or future activities. So that's why we give that importance. Secondly, so attract talent is the first focus. Second is screening of talent. And earlier it was on paper. Technology is now helping to screen that. How many of you have heard of artificial intelligence? Oh, great. So nowadays, the technology which is helping in screening is artificial intelligence, machine learning. And all these technologies are helping the organization as well as recruiter not to invest time on screening people on paper, and also not only that but they should actually spend time on understanding how can you identify, how can you make that person more comfortable and very bold while interacting with our team or management, and come up with the expression of his own talent rather than just whatever he just learned before he came for interview. So screening is done by technology. Second, hiring is done by technology. Onboarding is done by technology. I'll quote some names of technology which are going to be used after this. So similarly, managing employees, manage pay, and this is complete life cycle which is actually managed by technology at this point of time. I showed you evaluation. It started only with payroll, then absence, etc. And gradually it has actually completed the full circle in technology for HR department. Is it a good achievement? No achievement, right? Because you're not saying so, I assume that. Because I always believe youngsters are always right. And the experienced guy may have good knowledge, but youngsters can change everything. So is it a good achievement in HR if we have digitized everything? How many of you know the difference between digitization and digitalization? Digitization and digitalization. Any guess? Any difference? Person who gets failed get more marks. Your answer can be wrong. I'm fine with that. Any idea? Okay, I tell you. Digitization. Digitization means any organization who have started moving on to technology and migrating their all processes, automating all processes from on paper to the system is a digitization. But at this point of time, organizations don't look for those digitization or automation. And I brought this kind of digitization changes a lot in my earlier experience. Now I am assisting organization in digitalization. And digitalization means I am bringing change in the thought process of HR. It is very hard to change the mindset of HR first and then the organization. If I go to any HR, if I ask him, boss, this is the new thing which has come up, it will add value to you, and he will first look at that solution and say that what is good for me. It will increase my work, let it be. And he will not even go open gate for the guy to go inside and then talk about value. So digitalization is making experience better. Not only looking at automation, but also looking at what are the new ways you could implement or configure or add within the overall process or re-engineer the process, and then make use of that activity or that new thing for your organization through digitization, through technology, which could add a value in the organization revenue, in the organization improvement, process improvement, or in retaining good talent. So these are called digitalization. Means you are not automating what is given. You are actually adding value by bringing new things, new ideas, new activities, which actually add value to organization achievement, which would add value in terms of increasing the revenue and so on. So that is digitalization. So I just show you what is the role of modern HR. You may get small.
In the beginning, the role of your HR team was largely functional. It was centered around payroll, leave, policy making and training. Recruitment generally meant putting an ad in the paper and hoping for the best. Or hiring. Everyone knows what it's like to work in your company. They can see who works there, if you have cool company perks, what your company culture is like, even if your office has a slide. The employer brand was born. Now every employee is an ambassador. Their experiences are shared with a captive online audience who in turn share it with their audiences. Today, the first step of recruitment doesn't start with a job application. It starts online. The very first thing a prospective job candidate does is run a search on you. Not just your company. It's also your LinkedIn profile that they are looking at. As the head of HR, you now also need to be a brand builder and a marketer. Recruitment began to change too. Technology opened up a whole new world of talent, but not just active job seekers, but hundreds upon thousands of qualified candidates who weren't actively looking. It was a game changer. You now had direct access to talent. You no longer had to wait for the right CV to cross your desk. Your employees were also increasingly becoming a valuable source of recruitment. As ambassadors for your company, they were best placed to identify the right people to join your team. But for them to do that efficiently, you needed to give them the right tools. A strong employer brand, a great company narrative, and an inspiring work environment. As the head of HR, you now also need to be a communications expert and motivator. Technology also opened up an overwhelming world of data to HR leaders. There was so much opportunity to utilise this data to improve the decision-making process, make better hires and retain talent. All at your fingertips. You just had to make sense of it all. Because you now needed to be an analyst and an insights person. Today, the role of HR in an organisation is no longer functional. It is transformational. As a head of HR, you are responsible for building your employer brand so that you attract the right talent. You deliver value for your company by understanding and using data-driven insights to improve efficiencies. You hire the right talent by connecting with the right people. You are a brand builder, an analyst, a communicator, a motivator, and a collaborator.
So now, what are the roles played by HR here? What all role he has played, or what are the roles should be played by HR? We just watched that. Sorry? Perfect. Analyst. Communicator. Motivator. Recruiter. Recruiter is regular job, but still, with technology, he should be proactive in taking decision while hiring. The other important thing is the retainer. Like he should adopt or bring those practices in place which actually help him retain the best talent. And secondly, he should also give insider in terms of he should find out what all information he is needed in terms of predictive analytics, what kind of information he needs so that he could identify who could be my potential termination or potential best talent voluntary termination. So what he could do, he could identify those set of people in advance and then take proactive action so that those people should not look out for jobs outside. So that means all he could do through technology. And you would have seen that HR is no more a data entry operator, no more administrator, no more only coordinator. He is managing the brand because brand value starts from career page by providing candidate good experience as well as also adding value in terms of projecting your organization in such a way that they should come to you rather than you go to them. So for HR, he is a brand ambassador. The other important thing I just talked about, and what are the other areas in technology? So one area is we digitized everything. We did almost all activities. HR understood that these are my roles. Technology is available for performing all these actions. The other new buzzword or other new area which is helping organization in managing things in a better way and then also bring employee-centric activities, AI, chatbots, machine learning. So what does it mean? AI, chatbot, machine learnings. How many of you have used Alexa? Google Assistant? Siri? I have seen people, and even I would say that your age group people also, wherein they don't like typing all the way. So they wanted voice assistant. They just want to say. And even for old age guys, they can't type, their hand trembles. So now the new thing which is coming up is I could take all the assistants by just calling the things and getting those input. So what's happening here is that is another set of evolution. And that set of evolution is bringing a lot of change and also improving. what I have experienced in my life by digitizing process is you can digitize everything, but even after digitization, people don't adopt system properly. Your manager may come back to you saying that if you are managing a company and manager may come back to you saying that, boss, I have got 100 reports, I can't open system time and again just to enter all this information. Sorry, I will not use that. You do that, otherwise I will lose my revenue of 10%. Are you okay with that or not? So these are the challenges which generally we face as a HR professional. So what happened, just to minimize those kind of queries and complaints about systems complexity, the other important thing is start using RPA, which is robotic processing automation. Second maybe AI. Third could be the other components of AI, which is chatbot, voice assistant, and even I would say machine learning. So what happened that empower employees so that they can start using all these things themselves. Secondly, if I ask you to tell me what is the, if you are an employee, then I would ask you to just apply for, you go and then apply for leave. Then you would go and see that what is the policy, am I entitled to that leaves or not, and so on. Then you would just again either start searching policies, or you would go back to HR saying, please tell me my entitlement, leave entitlement as well as policy, etc., so that I can apply for leave. Similarly, HR, you go to HR, being an employee, HR would say, oh, I need to see my policy. Or if he has everything in mind, he could tell, but still he has to refer something, your balance, etc. So just to minimize those kind of even queries or that kind of requirements, and also improve that adoption, this kind of chatbot has started. Like means, first I can text it, second I can voice my query so that it could be typed here, and then the chatbot can go and then fetch that information from my database or from the organization database. So assuming that if this is not visible, I just read it out for you. It says that how many vacation days, means leave balance does this employee have. Now he has 2 weeks of vacation. So that means if you're posting your or if you're posting your query, the system is going and then digging that information for you, and then basis that similarly you could see that I can carry on, and this blue color is a chatbot, which is, you may call it Alexa, you may call it Google Assistant, you may call it whosoever, whatever, I would echo, etc. So what does it do? As soon as now, if you just go to any shopping site also, you would say that there is a small chat icon which gets appears. If you are landing on that screen, suddenly it may, how can I help you? And then you say that, okay, do you have this? He's suddenly going, yes, this is there. Do you have this? Yeah, it's there. Price, this. And even you can shop directly from there. Same way, this is evolving in HR also. So here, it is not only meant for employee only, it is actually meant for the HR as well as other users of HR. So similarly, the other use cases, what is the healthcare plans available for me? As soon as you got married, you wanted to add your nominee, your wife, your kids, you wanted that, I don't know the policy, then you will not start going to the complete 30 page or 10 page of policy. You just raise this query and you get all the answers there and then. Similarly, if you want to know, being HR, you want to know what is the tenure, average tenure of our software developers, assume. And that too in my development, or what is the average tenure for my sales guy in selling courses, then you get to know directly from here, and that is stored in the system, but that is not reported properly. So system does that kind of calculation and get you that. So that means technology is actually adding value at every stage, not only to individual employee, which is employee share, because you are making a lot of things employee centric. Employee can raise things, get answers quickly rather than waiting for HR to come back to them or sending the mail, coming up with the solution, etc. So all these things are getting changed, and now similarly, this is one area. The other area is, if I take simple example of anybody over here, simple working guy, student or whosoever, what do we do first? Whenever we wake up, we start checking our WhatsApp, Facebook, and many more things, right? Whatever is important, we do that. Do we do? How many of you who don't even look at WhatsApp in the morning or Facebook in the morning? When do you see? Whenever you get that, right? You will. because that may not be better for you. But I just tell you what's happening in now HR. What would happen? You will see. I'll show you that video also. So what happens now? As soon as we wake up, if I'm a professional, I need to see, oh, how many mails I got. I just need to clear all my mails before I reach my office. You wake up, you start working on, you may have a smartwatch, you may have iPad, you may have smartphone. Your first reaction would be, you first try to see what are the important mails for me. What are the things I need to work upon right away. I would not wait for me to go to office and then open my laptop or desktop just to start working. No, I need immediate actions on that. So I would, before work, I will check my mail. Even though I am on my way to office, I would still check if something is there. If I didn't get, I left some work out over there, then I would on my way, I will check my activities on the mobile and then start completing a lot of actions there. Maybe approvals, leave approvals of my team member, maybe performance evaluation, or maybe I need to create a scheduled interview with one other guy. I just block it there and then. Or I just want my meeting time to be changed. So all these things I would do on my way. Once I am there, so what would happen that I want that technology should be so, like I should finish all my mail work and etc. and I should directly get into my meeting and say that, yes, whatever preparation I needed, I could do on my way and I can complete my meeting. If I am on my coffee shop just to have a coffee, I can invite my team member and have discussion. Or I could just go and then when I go back home again, I would just work on my desktop. Or even though I am sitting with my family, I may also like my family to just have some kind of interactions, or we are sitting together but still we are chatting, we are checking few things, and I don't need to open my everything, laptop, etc. Still I'm carrying some work at home, but I'm proactive. I can work from home, I can do whatever I want, I can make my work-life balance maybe a little better for some people, maybe a little worse also using technology. So this is what is going to be the future, what we are working on as an Oracle, using technology, and how would it add value. Add value from the work-life perspective, add value in terms of professional life perspective, add value in terms of my own, I would say, that growth perspective.
Imagine if technology adapted to you.
Since being promoted to regional sales manager, my mornings are off to a running start. Oracle, tell me what's happening today.
You have 4 events today.
Who am I interviewing?
You are interviewing Steve Tomlinson at 4 p.m. today.
Oracle, tell me which color.
My favorite color is red.
I'll stick with white.
Are you gonna be at my game tonight?
Kiddo. Time to go. Oracle, tell me what's next.
Would you like to continue reviewing Steve's resume?
Yes, where has he worked?
Steve has worked at Votive Computing and Hub Networks. You are about to reach your destination. Do you want to reserve an office?
Yes.
Office 320 has been reserved for you.
Do I have time to stop for a kombucha?
That will add 20 minutes to your arrival time.
All right. Oracle, start my day.
Welcome, Lisa Jones. The office is set to your preferences.
Oracle, open quarterly forecast.
Okay, here's the quarter's forecast.
Thanks, Rob. That's really great news. Nope, we'll send the documents over right away. No need to stay late. All right, take care. Oracle, start opportunity for Rob Barker.
Done. Would you like to review your meeting details?
Yes.
Here are the agenda items for the meeting. Quarterly forecast snapshot. Sales talking points. And by the way, it is Sally's birthday. Anything else?
Are all required attendees present?
All required attendees accepted.
Happy birthday, Sally. Oracle, start my meeting.
submit your expense report?
Yes, submitted.
Done. Would you like to review and send the offer to Steve Tomlinson?
Yes, include a start date 3 weeks from now.
I submitted the offer and initiated the pre-hire checklist.
Mom, can we go to the beach tomorrow?
Michael, what's tomorrow look like?
You have no meetings scheduled for tomorrow. The weather forecast is for sunny skies.
Sure.
Yes!
Few takeaways. What have you noticed in this video? Did you notice few things? What are things are those? One. Very good. Perfect. Right. 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 I want to hear from the back benchers because I was also back benchers. I never seen any PPT properly. So anything what you noticed? Anybody noticed anything? What did you learn out of it? Yes. Anybody who?
Sir, I noticed that the technology is always there to help us in so many ways. I think Google was always able to help whatever we needed, and it was always there for us.
Any one more key point? What I want to just. Right. Yeah. Right. Enough. It has actually made our work-life balance better. So you know what happened? Like system was telling, my kid has come to me 2 times. One kid told me because Indians and even I would say all over the world, they love their kids. We love our family. And we want to give importance to work, but not at the cost of family. And did you see that the kid went twice to mother saying that I have a game. Will you come to see my game? And she said, okay. And she was able to finish all the work by that time and she went and watched his match. That means she maintained to finish all the work on time, went to boost the moral of his kid again, and then he was happy. My work is good, my family is good. Second, he said that I want to go to beach. And although she would have got some work, she just checked that work, if some work was there or not. And it was not there, and she just commented, yes, I will go. So it actually has done two things. One is, now the third important thing was, system gave that information today Sally's birthday. And you know, if somebody comes to you in the morning and say that happy birthday, you can say, "Bye, mom." Or you know that, and your boss, if that comes to you and say that happy birthday, and you get excited, that is one of the reward you get, one of the motivation you're getting, the closeness you are creating with a body. So that is what technology can do. That is the imagination that is happening. And if you remain, if you, like you're kind of, if you start adding value, even some more things could happen. And I just want to say that technology is there, but if you use it optimally, then it can give you whatever comfort and whatever aspirations you have. It can give all of them.